Welcome back to the lore. Refreshing. Now let's get the reading. Entity screams in pain. Wait. Fatal Sonic was now Fatal.exe. All of the Entity Sonics hold hands and form a ring around Entity.exe. And Collector was shot at Fatal.exe. Collector looks at Entity. He looks exactly like Collector, only he's a black void with scribble red eyes. But after Collector shot at Fatal.exe, they unfuse. Fatal Sonic tries to fuse again, but Collector.exe already kills him, ripping off his armor fused with him. I can see where this might get people confused. Basically, is it Fatal Sonic tries to fuse with Lord X again, but Collector.exe already kills him, ripping his arm off and fuse with him. I need to fix that. Entity.exe is a creature who likes to copy his victims. He turns into them, fighting them. He wins no matter what. But this time was different. Entity sees Fatal Sonic and Collector.exe. Now, Collector knows what power Entity holds. Because flashback to when Sonic.exe escaped his world. Entity was the first official victim after he gains these powers. Here's the battle. Sonic.exe teleports to a void. There lies Entity. Sonic.exe runs at him, then jumps because Entity would turn into him and run at him too because Entity would turn into him and run at him too. When Entity tried to do that, Sonic.exe spin dashed him, ripping off his arm but not killing him. Entity's arm instead goes into his chest, hence why his chest has an X always. Wait. Yep, there it is. Oh yeah, sorry. Now Entity has been in him the whole time, and he has enough power to take over the world, but he wants to kill Collector first. Now back to the corrupted world. Entity looks at them both and says, "I'll see you soon, Fatal Sonic." Before he teleports away. I don't think that's actually how he's gonna sound like in the animation. But hey, I could try. Collector and Fatal Sonic don't know what to do, so they look at each other stunned. So Fatal Sonic punches Collector.exe and teleports away. Yeah, that's it. Collector.exe is mad but lays it off. He got Lord X. Now he's going to go after Rerun. Rerun. The noodle, the one whose arms are like noodles. I'm not gonna pull up a picture of him. He teleports to Rerun. And he looks to his left and finds Sonic. And it smiles. Sonic looks at Collector and smiles. And it transforms into Rerun. And runs at Collector. Then the world star gets corrupted in a void. Nothing ever Entity looks at Collector and says, "Once you finish getting power, you're gonna die." Then it reverts back to Rerun's world. Collector for once is scared and Rerun sees it. Rerun sees it. Sees it! And Rerun tries to use it as an advantage to kill Collector. But Collector, despite being warned what might happen, he still goes to finish what he's doing. As soon as Rerun tries to grab him, he grabs them and pulls. He grabs him and pulls Rerun to him. He grabs Rerun and pulls Rerun and pulls them to him. I can see where I can miss them. Then he kicks the chest, ripping off both of Rerun's arms. He threw one of Rerun's arms to Rerun and fused with Rerun. Oh, we got saying, Collector, the the world as you know, it will be in my hand. Dead. Saying, Collector, the world as you know will be in my hand. Collector reverts back to the world. Meanwhile, with Fatal Sonic and Devad, yeah, Devad, Fatal, Devad, I think I know how to kill Collector. How? I've been studying him, and I can see his true form. There's a way to kill him, but it's going to be hard. But first, we need to fully get all the powers. Are you nuts? No, but we need Sonic. You're Sonic. No, not me. What we need the help of the classic Sonic and his friends, and go to another dimension. What? Meanwhile, Collector.exe. He just killed Skinwalker and fused him. He's now going after Sentinels. He teleports him. They both lock eyes. And Sentinel's eyes turn white and runs after him. Collector stretches his arms, grabbing every leg of Sentinels, rips Sentinels apart, taking his arm and fusing with him. Entity then appears saying, "The choices you make the choices you make have consequences. So be careful what you do next." Collector reverts back to his world. Oh crap. Collector reverts back to his world. And then he was forcefully teleported to Sanic. Sanic is just exploding everything in his path. Collector grabs an eraser. Sonic looks sad as his face gets erased. Collector rips the arm and fused with him. Entity appears. And before he could say anything, Collector says, "What's the big idea? You keep appearing after I kill and fuse with someone." As he says, "One day you will be killed." Then he reverts back to his world, yada yada yada, and a giant green bloody pipe appears below him. He falls to MX world. MX punches Collector, knocking him back. Collector gets up, mad, runs to MX. Alright, let's do this. MX starts running towards Collector when all of a sudden a portal underneath MX grabs him. Meanwhile, with MX. I'm just having fun at this point. Fatal Sonic appears in front of MX holding his hand out. Collector, wondering what happened, goes to No More Innocence and teleports him. No More Innocence looks at him as his arms and legs are grabbed. Wait, where are we? Okay. Fatal Sonic appears in front of MX holding his hand out. Collector, wondering what happens, goes to No More Innocence and teleports to him. No More Innocence looks at him, and as his arms and legs are grabbed by a tentacle rips his arm and gives it to Collector. He fused with no more essence. And then he goes to teleport to its. As he is punched into the void by MX. They look at each other in the void and they lunge at each other. MX punches Collector, knock him to the ground. Collector decides it's enough and teleports to Entity. Then he looks. Entity looks and he says, "It's fine. I'll take care of MX. You go get the other arms." So Collector teleports to Sonic.SRX. Grip, grip. That's a loop-de-loop. Okay, let's put you right there. Alright. And Entity goes to MX. MX looks at Entity. Now, here's the interesting fact about Entity. He can make anyone scared of him. No matter if you have no feelings or emotions, you will always be scared. And rightfully so. Entity is more powerful than Collector.exe, but hold on. Entity is looking at me. Help me. I'm a controller. I'll see you soon at 90%. Ooh. But MX is not willing to give up, so he goes and Entity turns into him, and they fight like MX is fighting a mirror. And after a while, MX falls dead on the ground. Entity rips off his arm and decides to teleport to Collector in the Black Void. Collector says, "Now what?" Entity hands him the arm, and Collector fused with MX. Then Collector is out of the void. He's fighting Sonic.RX, but since he has fused with MX, he's gained more strength and is able to punch Sonic.SRX to the ground, ripping him as he's fusing with him. But oh, what the hell? Why am I burping so much? It's because I had Dr. Pepper? He decides to go after Xenoface. But before we go to that fight, we're going to recap what happened between Sonic SRX and Collector.exe. Collector got there, Sonic.SRX looked and sent his victims after them over and over again, and then Entity gave MX arm while Collector held the victims with tentacles. Then he killed Sonic.SRX. Fine, nope. Now Collector teleports to Xenoface. Xenoface looks at him and says, "You've been busy. It's about time." They don't fight, but Collector asks, "You're just Sonic.exe, not Xenoface." "Oh, I am Xenoface." Suddenly he starts growing, then he gets a tentacle, then he gets a tail and is Xenoface. Xenoface says, "Well, let's fight," and lunges at Collector. Am I reading this correctly? Collector laughs louder and louder and grabs Xenoface by the neck. "You think this is easy? I am god of the multiverse!" Please don't judge me. At this point, Collector is gone, man. At this point, Collector has gone mad. He throws Xenoface to the wall. He runs to him. Xenoface pulls something unexpected. Boom! Lord X comes and punches Collector, knocking him. Collector says, "I've dealt with one Lord X. I can take another." Collector uses his tentacles and grabs Xenoface and Lord X. "You can't understand the power I hold. I've killed almost everyone." Turning into his true form, which is standing at 20 feet with 3 heads like a Hydra. Yeah, 3 heads. Hee 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 hee. Hee hoo. Hee hee hoo ha ha. And the heads are Sonic.exe, Sonic.eyx, and Distorted Sonic. Now, Collector doesn't plan to fuse with Lord X. He grabs them both. They try to escape, but they can't. He rips off the armor of Xenoface and fused with him. Collector then throws Lord X into a void. Col- Collector then throws Lord X into a void, and he decides to go after Prisoner.tar. Collector teleports to Prisoner.tar. He's estranged Sonic.exe. Collector immediately, in a blink of an eye, kills and fuses with him. Entity appears before Collector in a black voice saying, "Well, well, well, you're almost done. And after you die, I'll take over the world." Collector then was teleported somewhere. There stood before him was Mario.exe. Collector was forced into Sonic.exe and they both lunged at each other. I was planning to make this cooler. Now here's the thing. Since Collector's been killing a bunch of Sonic.exes, he is super fast. Like, I'm not even joking. He's faster than Super or Hypersonic. Look, I'm not even joking. Sonic.exe tries to spin dash into Mario.exe, but he slices Sonic.exe with his knife. Now I'm just gonna skip to the interesting part because for an hour it's just Sonic and Mario. Mario attacks. Mario attacks with a knife. Sonic tries to spin dash Mario. Then Mario grabs Sonic.exe and throws him. Mario runs at Sonic, and at the last moment, Sonic kicks out his knife and spin dashes into him, ripping his arm off, killing him as Sonic.exe fused with Mario.exe. Collector.exe decides to go after Chaotix. He gets there, he's all pixelated looking at Knuckles. He goes to attack him when Knuckles turns into Chaotix, and Chaotix comes to attack Collector. Collector grabs Chaotix and tries to rip off his arm, but failed. Chaotix spin dash in the hand, making Collector drop him. Collector, instead of grabbing him with his tentacles and rips his arm, fusing with him. Oh crap. He decides to go instead, grabbing him. He decides to go after Null.exe next. He teleports to Null.exe and sees him, but Null.exe is already dead with his arm on the floor. Collector is confused. Then he sees Entity. Entity looks at him and takes the arm. Entity says, "You want the arm? You'll have to beat me." He starts running. You'll see where this is coming to in a moment. All of a sudden, Collector.exe teleports somewhere. Now a Sonic. Not Sonic.exe, just Sonic. Entity says, "Beat me in a racing, you'll win, 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 win." Error, crash. Mm. You think of the time you race? No, no, it's you need something. I need you. You shall die. Sonic and Entity start the race. It's in Green Hills, so when all of a sudden Sonic spin dashes Entity, taking the arm and lunging at it to punch him. And Collector fused with Null.exe. Now he's gonna go after Control.exe. Great. Alright. Well, that's all we had for today. I really hope you enjoy this series. I love making this for you. Sure, it's long, like really long. Like I have 55 screenshots of just season 1. Well, I'll see y'all later. Peace.